I have used Skyward at the insistence of my colleague JJ Treat. She really convinced me that I had to give it a try with Skyward quizzes. So she actually helped me type my first ones in, and then I went and I took my 3 sports skills classes to the computer lab, and we did a Skyward quiz on there. And my kids finished it and they submitted it, and my grading was done. It was completely done in a matter of seconds. And talk about taking one more thing off my plate. I was so happy after it was over with. I can't even tell you how happy it made me. And although it took a little bit of time to type the quizzes in, it is well worth it, especially if you teach more than one section of a class. I give quizzes on almost every unit. I've gone in there 3 times now, and each quiz has gone very well. I just sign up for the lab. We go in, take the quiz. I even give my kids official signals, and I'm able to do that in front of the class, and they can still take it on the quiz. So if you do any type of quiz or assessment that involves multiple choice, true, false, matching, or you can even do a written assessment on there. Obviously, you have to grade that, and it takes a little bit longer, but you don't have to go run Scantrons. You don't have to grade a piece of paper. It's an easier step, and it will honestly make your grading easier.
It was relatively easy, and I loved it. Probably the thing I liked best about it is that it automatically put the grades straight into Skyward, and I didn't have to go through and input them. The process of creating my test was not any harder than creating any other test. I had to copy and paste and put stuff in. I don't think there's a direct way to go from exam view into it, but other than that, it's just copy and paste, put them in, create the test. You have to set the times so that the students can't access it early, and apparently you can't copy it. You have to create each one individually. But the amount of time you put in on the front end is way saved by not having to grade it or input the grades at the end. I really liked that it scrambled the test questions, scrambled the choices, so that the copying was no longer a huge issue. And if I give a time limit, then they can't go and Google answers, even though they have their Chromebooks there. I loved it. It was simple.
So I've used Skyward for testing 2 times so far. What I like about it is that initially you type in your questions, you put your questions in, but then you can clone it, and so you can adjust it when you clone it, and you can add it. So I have used it with my sheltered students, my EL students. I've also used it with my inclusion students. And you can put multiple versions of the test on there and assign kids to each test. You can't assign them in Skyward. You have to physically assign them and tell them. So they get Post-its with what letter test they're taking. And they can take the test side by side, but they're taking different versions of the test because it scrambles test questions and it scrambles the answers. So even though it's the same questions you inputted one time, they're looking at different versions of the test. And I think it is quite simple to clone it and then modify it for your inclusion students and your EL students, if you will, so that they too can take the benefit of using technology to take their tests.
There are 2 ways to create online quiz or assignments in Skyward. First of all, you have to be in the grade book. In the first method, this one is ideal for assignments that you plan to use again. You may need to print a hard copy of the quiz or assignment to give to an absent student or a student who can't access Skyward, or they don't have access to a computer, or if you're sharing a quiz with a colleague. Choose the tab Other Access and go to Online Assignment Templates. Here, these are tests I've made previously, and I could access again. I could clone them, or if I choose Clone from another teacher, I could get a test from another teacher. So today I'm just going to add to make a new test. I need to put in the name of the test, I can choose how many points per question for this test. I can randomize the questions, which means that the kids sitting next to each other will have the same test, but the items will be scrambled so that they don't see the same item at the same time. And that will help alleviate some of the cheating. If I choose auto score and post a grade book, it will grade it and put it into the grade book, so I don't have to enter scores. I can show the students correct answers if I want to, or if I don't want them to know the correct answer so they don't share it with other students, I don't check that box. So now I'm going to save this assignment, and I'm going to add some questions. I can choose the different types of questions: multiple choice, true, false, and matching. So this is what it would look like for multiple choice. This is what it would look like for true, false. And this is what it looks like for matching. Once I'm done, then I can save and add another, or I can save and go back. Make sure and always save. Don't just hit the back button, because you will lose your data. The second method of adding an online quiz or assignment is best used for short assignments that you know all students will be able to access online and you do not need a hard copy of it. This method does not allow storing it as a template, and it does not allow sharing with other teachers. So once again, you have to be in the gradebook, and you go to the Assignments tab and select Add Assignment, just like you do for any assignment that you put in the gradebook. You give it a name, you assign dates, you can put in a max score, and then over on Options, then choose Create Online Assignment. Here's then where I would add in then my randomized questions, just like I did before. I can make it accessible to students at a certain time. I can auto score and correct it. That's important, as it will grade it and put it in a column in your gradebook. And then you want to save it and add questions. And once again, then you can decide on the types of questions that you're going to put in the test. Multiple choice, true, false, matching are all scored for you if you choose auto score. And then you would want to save and back.
One thing that's really good is that if you want to look and see, you can see immediately which questions were most missed by either each individual student or the class. It's very good on gathering data for you. You can print out a report on how many students missed which question, and you can actually print out a separate sheet for each kid if they wanted to see how they had done on the test and if you wanted a paper copy. So there's lots of more steps you can do for it, but the simplest thing is that I can tell you is it eliminates the whole grading piece.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to run a report using a Skyward quiz. So here's your home page. Go up to your teacher access. You want to always start at your grade book. So I'm going to start with this PE class. And then in this class, I am going to pick my badminton quiz. So you want to pick the quiz that you want to run the analysis on. So I pick the badminton quiz. Over here you'll see report. You'll have assignment report and online assignment report. You want the online assignment report. Then right here you have a couple options. I'm going to show you right now how to run the online assignment report. I will come back and show you how to run these others on another screen. So click online assignment analysis. And then you want to click only print online assignments that have been graded. This will get rid of those kids that haven't had a grade in there. Click print, and then it's going to take some time here to query through and get your report ready. once it's ready here, you can review it. So I'm going to click Review Report. And now here's the report. Here's my question 1. Here's my students' names. Here's the answer that they picked, and then whether they got it correct or incorrect. So you can go through here and pick whatever data out you want to pick out from this. I would look at this and say that my kids really don't know the rules of badminton. Scroll down, I have some true and false questions the same way. This question right here is not a true and false, it's a multiple choice. Obviously it was a good question, except for this one student right here. Then I might say, okay, I might need to look and see if I need to look at other questions on the student and look at his data. Here's some true and false questions, and then I also have some matching questions that you can look at right here. So here's the student's name, here's his matching, this is what he chose, and then all the way over here it tells you if it's correct or incorrect. So this is just how to run an online assignment analysis report for a test or a quiz or just an assignment that you give in class. You can print it by coming down and just hitting print, or you can save it.
Today we've shared with you the online quiz feature in Skyward. It is just another tool in your tool belt. Some advantages in summary are that you can take this quiz anywhere, that it's paperless, it's immediate feedback, you can have it auto-grade, Skyward grades it and puts it directly into your grade book. You can control when students get to see the quiz, whether they can see it at home or if they can just see it during class time. It's another way to add technology into your classroom. If you clone quizzes and change them a little bit, you can differentiate quizzes for your different student levels. You can create reports about how each student has performed or each class has performed, or do an item analysis. Now it is your turn. Find a computer and give it a try.